in this episode.
You know, I could see Max growing up and he's got a bunch of nipples tattooed all over his arms because he wasn't able to see them when he was younger.
Welcome. You're listening to Paleo Cheese Podcast, Episode 17, Part 1, with Max Booth III. Tornadoes, ridiculous parenting, and the problem with Batman.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jeremiah Bannister.
And I am Chad Lutsky.
And you're listening to Paleo Cheese Podcast, part of the Project Entertainment Network. We're the podcast where a seasoned horror veteran holds the white-knuckled hand of a horror newbie as they explore the genre together, film by film. And sometimes, Chad, we have great guests. And tonight's one of those nights, buddy.
Yes, tonight is one of those nights. Tonight we have Max Booth III, or as I like to secretly call him, Max Booth III. Max is an author, a podcaster, and publisher. His podcasts include Castle Rock Radio, as well as Ghoulish, where he is the host. His books include The Nightly Disease, Carnivorous Lunar Activities, Touch the Night, and We Need to Do Something. He's also the editor-in-chief of Perpetual Motion Machine Publishing. Man, it's a mouthful.
It's a tough one.
And the managing editor of Dark Moon Digest. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Max. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. You know, it's funny. A while back, I had to make some type of appointment. I think it was medical related, and they needed to email me stuff about it. So I told them my email, which is maxboothii@gmail.com, and I did not get the email because they spelled it as EYE, EYE, EYE.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I should get that email if it's not taken, just in case. Who knows what mail I could be getting that's been sent to that address.
Get that .com, yeah.
Yeah. III.com.
Yes.
It's a good website.
It's a good website.
I don't know what's on it, just a bunch of eyes, I guess.
Oh.
Like if you had a specific kink and that was just eyeballs, I would have you.
Yeah, it's great having you on here, man. We don't know each other too well. We are kind of in the same circles. I've never met you at a convention or anything, but we've talked a few times here and there. So this is one of the coolest parts, other than being able to hang out with Jeremiah so much. One of the coolest parts of the podcast is getting to know people better and networking. It'd be cooler if it were a person that we could slice our thumbs and mix blood, but
I sliced my thumb today. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm already ahead of you.
In preparation for the show. You know, rubbing it on a mirror, smearing it, doing designs.
Yeah, I was drawing the show's logo and doing a chant.
Yeah.
You know, what was it, about a month ago, I just read your new, I don't know which one's the newest, Touch the Night or We Need to Do Something.
I guess Touch the Night is the newest. Yeah, it came out like a month after We Need to Do Something.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're both new releases.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think I read where you were talking about it. It was before the book was out, and I heard the synopsis. Mm-hmm. And I was interested right away because I'm talking about We Need to Do Something. The synopsis about a family in Texas who gets trapped in a bathroom due to a tornado.
Yeah.
I live in Michigan. We don't have Southwest Michigan. We don't have tornadoes very often. We do have them, but they're not they don't destroy our town. They'll knock over whole trees and stuff like that, or tear somebody's roof off once in a while. It's happened twice, dude.
Man, dude, it's absolutely ravaged that town.
No.
Dude,
not compared to,
not compared to other places, but Battle Creek's been straight up hit with some of those tornadoes, man.
It's like the tornadoes are like, don't worry, guys, I'm just going to hit the trees. And if there's an abandoned house, I'm going to take it out.
What about the old man who was in one of those lazy boys, dude? Bugger got pulled up flying. It was time of his life for like 10 seconds. And he's dead. I mean, he died. I mean, I don't want to
in Battle Creek.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know about that. That sounds like urban legend, man. He's now haunting the local furniture department stores,
the lazy boy section, dude.
Yeah, people are creaking of the recliners. People
people are afraid to go, dude. They're like, look, man, did you hear there was a guy that bought a Lazy Boy from this place and he got sucked up into a tornado? I don't know if I'm buying there again. Like,
Was he still sitting in it as the tornado blew him around?
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Man in a Lazy Boy is an old guy.
Nice. That's how I want to go out.
But I'm when the sky turns green or yellow, then I start to like, I get really nervous, man. And it's like part of me, if the sirens go off and it's clear we have to go to the basement, part of me doesn't want to, because my biggest fear is being trapped in the basement because of a tree falling on my house or the house falling in on itself. So your book takes that fear and you know, I think I saw you in a thread on either Facebook or Twitter talking, and you had mentioned a couple movies that you liked, and you said that you are attracted to small cast of characters in small settings, isolated instance, you know, in a film. And I remember I can't remember what movies I was telling you about. I think Tape was one of them with Uma Thurman, which takes place just in one room. There's 3 people in it in a hotel room, and that's the whole movie. And I may have mentioned 1 or 2 others. I don't know if you end up seeing them, but so when I saw that book was out, I thought I'm probably going to like this, and I liked it a lot, man. It was a really, really good book. And
oh, thank you.
It's, you know, the dialogue is great. I know you wrote a screenplay for it first, and then you added some things to the novella. And those are good from what I think I listened to on a podcast or something. And from what I heard, those were good additions. I like those subplots that you had in there.
Yeah. When you were building that up, I was ready to laugh because you were like, and I knew I would most likely like it. And then I read it and I thought you were going to say it was fucking trash.
No, of course not. No,
that would have been great. I'm glad you liked it though. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
Yeah, you know, when he mentioned it, because he mentioned it to Michael David Wilson. You know, we talked about it. We talked about Tape, the movie Tape, and as Chad was describing it, this whole thing about small characters and small settings. You know, I was like, dude, there'd be a creepy story if it was like deranged and demonic lollipop kids in the back of a clown car.
Yeah.
But then I realized he said small and not little, and I'm like, oh,
okay.
Yeah, it ruined it, man. You were teeing it up for me, Chad, and.
If you think about it, like a clown car, it's really similar to the book House of Leaves, right? It's way bigger on the inside.
There you go.
Yeah, be pretty badass.
I'll tell you, you know what would be? This is for real, man. With this and like playing on the idea of tornadoes and being stuck in a crazy place. My dad lives out in Palm Springs, right? And he has a tour company out there, and they take tours and show people. Homes of the stars from back in the day, Arnold and Bob Hope and Lucille Ball and all that stuff. But there's this crazy area because it's a desert. Whenever it rains, it floods, right? So they had to figure out a way to get all the water to go and be channeled into a specific area so it doesn't flood the streets, it doesn't flood homes, and they can use that water later. Okay, they purify it and everything else. So they have these kind of man-made rivers, right? All over the place and bridges everywhere. And in the middle of one of those, so the whole year, except for maybe 2 days of the year when it rains, it's because it hardly ever does. It's just dirt, right? It's just land. But the thing is in the middle of one of these man-made areas there's a house, and it's small and it's inside, like it's inside of this. So when it would rain, that water would go all around that house, and that house would be barely above the water. And I thought, who would do that? But it was so small, the structure was. And my dad, he told me, he said it was actually the lollipop kids for real, like the actual guys. He said they were terrible people. He said like they weren't nice. They had like real problems and stuff, but they lived together in that house. And I thought, how terrible would that be? Like a story where you live in this kind of house that's in this area and the water is raging around you and everything. I said, can you imagine just being inside when that happens? Like, why would you intentionally place yourself there?
Yeah.
You know, but it's true. I mean, it's a real story. And in the house, it's a little house. So everything is small. It's all proportioned to them.
When you say the lollipop kids, who are you talking about?
The Lollipop Kids, the guys from the Wizard of Oz, man.
I didn't watch that movie.
Oh no, that's
What?
terrifying. That's a terrifying movie.
How can you be alive on the planet and not have seen Wizard of Oz at least a couple times?
I
That's
saw the musical once and I hated it. I got so mad, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, the end, it pissed me off. Oh, it was all a dream. Wasting my time on some
Oh, no.
bullshit dream fantasy. I'm not gonna watch a movie now
Oh.
based off of it.
You know
You know
it's
what?
Weird.
That I'm sending
Maybe it's
smoke signals up right now to Jeremy Wagner to say this is worse than me not seeing Jaws.
No, it's
I
not.
didn't see Jaws. Oh no, what? The Wizard of Oz?
Jaws wasn't a dream.
Well, it was a nightmare for me.
And, you know, that's weird. I guess,
Yeah.
you know, when I was growing up, Wizard of Oz was one of those, you know, back before like cable and stuff like that. It was one of those shows that or movies that was on like once a year. And so
Yeah.
it was like tradition to always watch it. So I guess I can understand, you know, it was like a rite of passage back then, but I can understand, Max, I think you're a bit younger than I am. So maybe that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, maybe. Also, like my family, we didn't watch a lot of like family movies growing up. It was always just like incredibly violent movies we would watch, even at a young age. Like True Romance was something we watched a lot when I was a super tiny kid. So I think we
Wow.
just kind of skipped like the family movies.
Just went straight to the
Yeah, went
the
straight to
hardcore
that.
violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the hardcore violence.
This was a good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn was one we watched a lot, although I wasn't allowed to see nudity. So half of that movie I had to just cover my face. I didn't even know vampires was involved until a long time. Because once the vampires get into it, it's nothing but nudity. So I couldn't see.
Wow.
Yeah,
They're like, we don't mind if you see the guy sawing his leg off, but
exactly.
you know, like, yeah.
Oh, a boob?
Oh.
Stop looking.
Yeah.
It's funny, parents, some of the things that parents do to protect their child, and part of parenting is some of it's just like a trial and error thing, especially with your firstborn. You're new to the parenting thing, and you want to do right by them and raise them up to be successful and happy and content, and with, you know, self-esteem. And so I remember my mom pulled some stuff that looking back, I'm sure even she probably sees as being pretty ridiculous. But when I was a kid, I was big into heavy metal and mainly stuff like Wasp and Ozzy and Dio and Black Sabbath. And she wasn't down with the Sabbath thing. So, and they were one of my favorites. So when I would get a cassette tape or a vinyl, I would hide it amongst all my other stuff. She wouldn't see it. And I had like 9 Black Sabbath cassettes by the time I was, I think 14, that I had hidden on my bookshelf. And one time I bought this tape called by a band called Accept. And the tape's called Balls to the Wall. And in that song, they say the word ass. And she heard it. And so instead of making me take it back, which is something that she would normally do, like she made me take back, I think it was Diary of a Madman by Ozzy Osbourne, because there's a upside down cross in the background. I think I bought the album, and she made me take the album back. I talked her into letting me get the cassette, but then just cutting the cassette picture out.
Yeah.
And with that Accept tape with the word ass, I talked her into letting me take a little bit of Kleenex and stuffing it in the little hole, so that, you know, they take those tabs out so that you don't accidentally record over your pre-recorded tapes.
Mhm.
And then I put that in there. And then when that spot came in there, I just hit record. And so when it got to that point in that song, it was like I had censored my own tape. And
What did
it
you
just-
replace it with? Did you say
It's just
butt?
no,
Oh.
I didn't. No, I didn't say anything. That would have been even funnier if I would have tried to sing a different
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. But yeah,
Or have one of those sound effect tracks like boing, like some
funny
kind of.
and
Yeah.
it's funny how parents draw the line sometimes. It's like, well, you can watch true romance and you can watch all this hardcore violence, but a nipple? No, I'm sorry, Max, you cannot see a nipple.
I was forbidden the nipple. I don't know. It's odd. I don't know how they draw those lines. I guess sex just makes people uncomfortable, and violence doesn't, for strange reasons that I'm not quite positive. Phil,
I'm kind of in that boat. I think probably. Like I'll let my kids see something that's super spooky, or highly unlikely to happen. Whereas the dong and stuff like that's a part of their future right there.
You're not showing them movies like Antichrist or Bound?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Nothing like that. No Secretary. There's certain films you just go back, Blue Velvet, no. Which is tragic because they like David Lynch. They like David Lynch stuff.
Even what is it, movie?
Rabbit? Yeah. We reviewed that. What was that episode? I don't even know. I think we were actually
Wild at Heart and Blue Velvet.
Wild at Heart was number one. Yeah. Blue Velvet, that was further into it. I don't even want to guess. People can go though. It's maybe a good time to just say this real quick. We want to thank everybody for subscribing because we got that little trophy man from YouTube that said you reached 100, and we were able to now we are youtube.com/paleocheese. We're not that long string of letters that's normally reserved for extremely encrypted passwords that they give you. Would you like to use this 90,000 letter string of letters for your password? No. But that was basically what our URL was. But yeah, you can go there and check out our movie reviews, and people can see Blue Velvet.
Hell yeah.
Great movie. Yeah, in that kind of parenting too, not that like I said, not that there's anything wrong with it. It's like a looking out for your kid kind of thing, but it can cause rebellion. Like I could see Max growing up and he's got a bunch of nipples tattooed all over his arms because he wasn't able to see them when he was younger.
I did not know you could see those, but I have many nipples tattooed on my throat.
On your throat.
I just have a long penis going down my throat. Yeah.
Or he'd be rebellious and be like, now I'm going to watch all of the family-friendly films.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz, here I come.
I love a family movie, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like It Follows. That's a family film.
Hereditary.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, actually. Yeah, it really is, actually.
Fucking anti-family film. Don't have a family. Watch this movie instead.
Yeah, right.
I was gonna bring something up this week. My have you guys ever played like the Oculus, the virtual reality Oculus thing?
Yeah.
Have you ever played a virtual reality game at all, VR game at all? I never had until last week. My son has a friend, and he said, "Dad, hey, I want to trade my longboard," which he just got, and it was the second longboard, but he got it for free from a friend who didn't want it anymore. He said, I want to trade my longboard and my bass. I bought him a Fender bass like years ago for this Oculus thing, this VR thing. And I was like, no way. First of all, you already play too many video games as it is. Now you just got this other thing, and you're getting rid of two things that can like get you out of the house and doing something else other than playing video games. So they just traded, like he gave him his longboard and the dude gave him his VR headset thing, like temporary, just to trade it for a couple months or a couple weeks or something like that. And then I found out that the kid didn't want the bass anymore, just wanted the longboard. So I told my son, yeah, okay. But I put that sucker on, man, and it blew my mind right away. I had no idea that they were that cool. And I played some zombie game where I was shooting zombies, and everywhere you look is just you're in a different world. And then he had me put on, like a couple days later, I played another game where you're floating around. It's like a zero gravity type of basketball / soccer thing where you're in this futuristic arena and you're floating around and you have this little jetpack and you're trying to maneuver this ball and get into a goal. And there's other like AI members, against you. And as soon as I use the jetpack and I'm floating around, I almost fell. Just like instantly, I just fell right on my face because you can only see this. I'm in this arena and I'm like, 100 feet off the ground. And I played it for about 5 minutes, and I got a really, really strong stomach. I haven't puked from being sick, other than alcohol or drugs or something, but from a long time ago. I haven't puked from being sick since I was like 9. And
Really?
and this thing almost made me puke. And for 2 hours I was sick to my stomach from playing that stupid that game. I would not encourage anyone to play that game, man. It was horrible.
Oh man, I'm terrified of using something like that. What if I get stuck in it?
Yeah.
Like, what if my fucking brain gets stuck in that reality, and I'm just like a lawnmower man type of guy? Then that would suck. I would have to like possess fax machines. Who has a fax machine now? I don't know.
But think of what you could write with that, having this alternate reality that no one can see, and you can create all kinds of. You could have your own mythos.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Especially if they, combining it with that technology. I forget the name of the game, but it was probably 4 years ago or whatever, where the amount of worlds you could go to is basically endless. They would it would create new worlds. You could travel from one to another, and it was the set up the algorithm in such a way that it just mixed features from other worlds together, and so just kept going and going and going and going and going forever. And I'm fascinated, with virtual reality. I've done it before with the military, and so I went to an event, and there was the Navy was there, and I got to go in, and I'm on a boat, and I don't know where we were. I was like Vietnam or something, right? Just taking out people, and it was intense. And it was a big room, so I mean, it was just wild, the whole thing. But one thing that I find fascinating about it is the potential it has for creating a world of an individual that a doctor may be doing surgery on. Let's say, I think they did it with the heart, where they basically took an image of a person's heart and the problems that they had, and they could expand it and zoom in and out, and they're basically inside of it, looking at what they're dealing with ahead of time and saying, okay, this is where the problem is. This is, what we would be facing. And it was just mind blowing what they were able to do with that, especially once they start being able to do stuff with the brain, which they may already be doing. Right. But it's kind of a fascinating thing. But the last time I tried it, where it was an at home kind of thing, it was just, you put the cell phone in this device and this little contraption you put over your eye.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I thought, well, I just duct tape one of those goggle things, man, you wear like when you're in construction or something, and just put electrical tape around it to block out the light, and then just, duct tape my phone on there and say, I've got virtual reality. And I'm like, no, you just got your phone like 2 inches from your eyeballs. That's what.
Yeah, this is way different. This is way different.
That reminds me of that movie, Brain Scan. Have you guys seen that?
I saw it. It's an 80s movie, right?
Yeah. With that kid from Terminator 2, Eddie Furlong.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in decades, but I have seen it.
Yeah, he still some virtual reality stuff going on in that, and he gets conned into committing some good old-fashioned homicides. Can happen to any of us.
I can see eventually, with games like, really addictive games like World of Warcraft and stuff, and then getting into like a virtual mode where it's just like full on addiction. And then next thing you know, it's 12-step programs in every town for people dealing with video game addiction. I mean, I know that there are some already.
Yeah.
But I think that I can see that happening to people on a more regular basis. I mean, if you think about the progression of video games, the Atari, when I was growing up, that wasn't something that you could really be addicted to. You get tired of it.
Yeah.
But now it's really easy to really get engulfed in a game in this other world, and especially with something where there's constant like achievements that can be done, or quests or upgrades, things like World of Warcraft. And then of course you've got a social aspect to it too, where you're talking to other people in real time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was addicted to that game for a while, World of Warcraft, man.
Fun fact about that game: if you just use the beginning letters of each world, it spells out "wow."
I have heard that before.
Yeah, most people don't know that.
And another fun fact, I've never played that. And I think it's because I think is because I saw, and no offense, man, with Chad, right? I've got my own addictions. He's probably looking at me going, "Oh, I need to stay away from that." But I remember going to his house a lot, and he'd be, playing that game.
Really?
And I knew it wasn't just you; it was a lot of other people because it was popular at the time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And it was another buddy of mine, but he wasn't World of Warcraft. He was into that, Star Wars. Or Star Trek. Star Trek.
Okay.
Or was it? No. It was Star Wars. Yeah.
Star Wars Galaxies. Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies. And it was like one of the first ones where you could interact with people. And he's like, "Oh yeah, this person right here is from Connecticut, and this person's from over here, and yeah, we've got a guild or whatever." And he would be at home, and his wife's downstairs, being all sad and depressed. It was true. And I'd come in, me and my wife, we'd come to visit, and he's like, "I'll be down a little bit," and it'd be a long time. And I said, "Oh."
It's the only time I've ever gotten suckled into a game like that was when I was a teen. I lived in a hotel with my mom and dad, and I had a laptop, and I got a game called Diablo 2, and I lost a lot of days to that game. But that's the only one I've ever gotten addicted to. I guess I'm not a big game guy.
I just bought Tony Hawk, the remastered 1 and 2. And it was the first video game that I've bought in maybe at least 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Other than World of Warcraft. I still play World of Warcraft, but I play it I'll play it for a couple of months, and then I won't play it again for 6 months. And then I'll play it a little bit for, I just don't have time anymore with writing and stuff. So, but as far as console games, the only time I've used my son's Xbox is to stream something. But so I did get the Tony Hawk games.
I did too. I was playing it with my stepkid the other day, and I can't do it. It just makes me sick now. I get too dizzy playing that game. Yeah.
That sucks.
Oh well, that's okay.
I remember playing the Tony Hawk game, man, but it was back in the day. What was it? It was
Dreamcast. I had a
Dreamcast,
I think.
Yeah. Wasn't it on GameCube as well, or was that? Because I remember SSX Tricky, like the original.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I used to love that game. I was so dope at that. I mean, just one move after another move, just killing it. But then they started getting into, not only setting up your character in this super fancy way, but then there were missions and everything else. And it just kind of turned me off. There's very few games that I've ever liked that have missions. I like Grand Theft Auto. I like Hitman, stuff like that. Wolfenstein. I like that. Although I liked the original Wolf 3D. I mean, that's back on the PC, Papa. And so I loved that. But I'm like you guys, man. I don't have as much time anymore to play games. I enjoy it when I do, but it's in spurts, like you.
I was watching Jack Black. He's got a YouTube channel where his kids are on there, and he plays with games and stuff. And dude's hilarious. And he's been playing Red Dead Redemption 2. And man, that game looks fun. So my son said that he had it on the Xbox. So this weekend, I think I'm going to indulge a little bit.
I have the Red Dead Redemption.
This is like Grand Theft Auto, but a Western.
Yeah, I have the first one. The problem with it is, and this is maybe something one of the listeners can help me out with, because I guess I could Google it and check it out, but I don't do that. But I love it. I love the missions and everything. But I'm at this part where I've got to go from where I've saved it all the way to this place that's far away, and I got to take this train, and I got to ride the horse for a long way. And I get the realism thing, that they're like, well, ride that horse for 5 minutes. I say, I don't want to do that. I'd like to push a button and it just bloop, and just makes me go there. You know what I mean? Like one of those tubes from Super Mario, just do, and I'm there. But I don't know how to do that. And so it ends up driving me nuts, because if I fail the mission, and that's why I quit playing San Andreas, was because I would have to get on a bike or a car and this massive map, this massive world, and have to drive super far away over all these hills and stuff. And I'm like, come on, man, just let me
You
let me go
are
straight
one
there.
lazy gamer.
Well, I don't want to spend 5 minutes in a car listening to the same.
Driving though.
You don't want to listen
I'm
to
not driving. I'm
Danzig?
pretending to drive.
Yeah.
You don't want to listen to the same Danzig song over and over?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's
Uh,
like I'm pretending to drive. You know,
I have the
Like-
second Red Dead Redemption. I tried playing it, but I got too frustrated because the talk to a civilian button, I think it's the same button as shoot. So I kept going into towns
Yeah.
trying to
Oh,
talk to
damn.
somebody and just shooting them, and then I would be wanted. I'm like, I don't want to be wanted by the law. I just want to talk to this guy and get this fucking job over with. But now I have to kill this whole town. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's a common error, I think. Jack Black was having some issues, and my son Coda, he was telling me that prepare for that because it happens a lot. So Max, what have you been doing that's exciting this week, like reading or watching, whatever?
I am rereading Donald Ray Pollock. So The Devil All the Time. You guys read this? No,
I've never even heard of it.
It is, I think, maybe my favorite book of all time. I'm rereading it right now because Netflix is releasing a film adaptation next week on the 16th. So I thought I would give it a good reread before the movie came out. It's about all these different folks from the 50s and 60s who live in a small town in Ohio called Knock'em Stiff, which is a great name of a town. It's a real name of a town, too. And it just kind of follows the directions each of these citizens take, and it's really depressing and fucked up and nihilistic. I love it. Yeah.
Have you
Knock 'em stiff? Where is that? What state would have
Ohio?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's like one of the few redeeming qualities, maybe, of that entire state.
Yeah, he has a collection that he did before this novel, and the collection is just called Knock 'em Stiff, and it's a great collection as well.
Yeah.
So you like really depressing books?
Sometimes, yeah.
Have you ever read the Painted Bird by Jerzy Kazutsky?
I have not.
That's one of my favorite books, and it's really, really brutal. It's about it's during World War II. Boy, I think he's 12. He gets taken away from his parents and basically goes on, on the lam, I guess, from house to house, trying to make it through all of the chaos that's going on over in Germany. And the people that he runs into are sometimes they're really, really. He goes through all kinds of stuff, from being like severely abused to seeing all kinds of really gnarly killings and tortures, and it's I can't explain it very well, but it's a really, really good book. I've recommended it a lot to a lot of people, but it is really very brutal in big time. It was banned for a while, I think, in Germany.
Wow, shit, sounds good.
But yeah, the Painted Bird.
Didn't you reference that in one of your books? Was it in Skullface Boy?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that was one of the books. Wasn't that one of the books that he talked about with the guy who owned the bookstore?
Yeah, to be honest, I also reference it in a short story, so I have a hard time sometimes remembering if I referenced it in more than one book or not. But I try to do that. I try to actually use non-horror books. It's not a horror book. I mean, it's horrifying, and it's more disturbing than most horror books. But I do tend to try to think of books that like The Temple of Gold by William Goldman, or what's that James Kirkwood book that I love so much? Now I can't even think of the name.
The Fortress.
Oh my God!
No. I've been waiting.
No, Some Kind of Hero. It's called Some Kind of Hero. They made a really bad movie of it in the like late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I've never even heard of that book before. Never seen.
Check it out. Yeah.
And they're making a movie about it. Is it like a Netflix original, or what? What
it's an original. I know Robert Pattinson's in it. Some other folks.
He's a pretty good actor. I've never seen Twilight, but I've seen. But I don't know. I don't know if that counts.
I think he's
whether
great.
he's a good actor.
Yeah, me too.
The lighthouse.
Yeah.
He was good in the lighthouse. And then what's the one where he's
Good-
with his
good-
brother?
Good time.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
great in that too.
I think
been
he's
in
going to be
all-
good at Batman.
Yeah,
I do too.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's the guy's name? Christian Bale.
Uh-huh.
I think the Christian Bale Batman movies are the best Batman movies, but I think he's the worst Batman of all of the Batmans. It's just that voice.
Why
would
you say that, Chad?
Yeah, I can't.
Oh my god.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I think Batman should have like a squeaky voice, like he just went through puberty voice. I think that would be no one would expect that. A man in a big cape walks up and is like, "Hey, drop the bomb! It's me, Batman."
Yeah,
It'll be terrified.
Yeah, either
Batman.
that or he's got that the voice of the guy from South Park that puts a little device to the side of his neck. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Batman. Or the Stephen Hawking keyboard voice. You know, like
That's
where
what-
he has
that's
like
what
a
Christian
little.
Bale did.
Yeah, Christian Bale had a little keyboard he pulled out.
He already
speak and
he already
spell.
did that. No, I remember watching that movie and being really into it. I'm not a big superhero kind of guy, but I like Batman because he's more like a ninja, you know, and
Yeah.
he doesn't have any superpowers. And I thought it was appealing to me, and I thought that was cool. And then he spoke, and I was enjoying the movie, and then he spoke, and I was like, wait, what? Is this a joke?
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to go away. And it just kept staying. His voice kept staying like that. And it was so distracting that I was like, this is the worst Batman ever.
So you guys have mentioned Blue Velvet and also Stephen Hawking, which means I can't let this conversation continue without mentioning a book I like. I can't think of the lady who wrote it, but it's a collection, and the book is called "I'll Fuck Anything That Moves" and Stephen Hawking.
Oh, I think I have heard of that.
It's a good book.
Wow.
It's a quote. So is it Lynchian in its context, or is it just they take the quote from Blue Velvet?
It's a little Lynchian, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a collection of short stories. I can't think of who wrote it. But yeah, if you Google "I'll fuck anything that moves" and Stephen Hawking, I'm positive you will find something.
Just don't click images.
Yeah,
Click
don't.
video.
Yeah, right.
Or that.
Oh no. But Batman's got to kind of do that a little bit. Maybe that specific gravelly voice that he had wasn't any good, but I kind of feel like if he doesn't do that, like Adam West didn't, that everybody would know. It's kind of like He-Man. Like, who doesn't know that He-Man is Prince Adam? You know what I'm saying? And that Cringer is not Battle Cat.
Well, if Superman can just put on if Superman can just put on glasses and then like take out his devil lock thing that he's got going on there, if he can just move that to the side and put on the glasses, and nobody knows, then Batman can, surely talk like a regular human being, unless it's that it might be that from the moisture, like black mold in that cave,
Yeah.
and it's just destroyed his voice.
Do bats have deep voices?
Bats.
They squeak.
Yeah. Why doesn't he talk like an actual bat?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
so
why
if I
isn't he
pitched-
blind? Bats are supposed to be blind. This doesn't match up at all.
I don't.
Yeah, he'd
know
be
if
like
that all- I
Daredevil.
don't think all bats are. Not all bats.
bats. Okay.
Not
It's
all
just certain-
bats.
Like fruit bats, the flying foxes. Those are.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know that even in the bat world, there's like a spectrum to where the lady bats, they hear the squeak of one, and it's like James Earl Jones. They're just like, oh, do you hear that deep squeak he's got? Like relative to scale and species. But yeah, why doesn't he talk in a squeak? Why the gravelly voice? What's up with that? But I think Pattinson's going to do a good job.
Yeah, I do.
With
Too.
it. Yeah, I think he's going to do good. I loved the trailer that came out. I loved the music to it too, man. I'm trying to remember what song it was. It's like a remake.
It was,
Yeah,
it was Something in the Way by Nirvana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
And
Yeah.
it fit perfectly in the trailer. I thought
Yes.
it was great.
It's fantastic.
It made me
there-
realize that you could put Nirvana like in anything, and I would go, yeah, this might be good.
Yeah.
Have you heard, speaking of putting Nirvana into anything, have you ever heard the lullabies of Nirvana?
I have no idea what that means.
Oh my gosh, man.
do you
go
know
on-
who does those? You know who puts all those out? There's like
No.
Sabbath, The Cure. I know what you're talking about. The
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the
David
guy
Lee
who
Roth- David Lee Roth's sister.
What?
She's the one who puts all those out.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh. They're lullabies. I mean, it's basically this kind of, it's eerie though. Like it's almost like a childish sounding piano, like almost like those little toys with the colored keys and stuff, it's like red and blue and green and everything, almost like a xylophone with a little hammer. You do that, and it's kind of that sound, but it's soft, but it's also kind of dark. And yeah, Nirvana lullabies. You got to check it out because it's amazing. I love it. Yeah.
There's a bunch of them. Like just a ton of.
I'll check them out. That sounds awesome.
I think I can't remember if I bought one or if I just like burned it on a disc or something for my grandson when he was first born. And I can't remember. I think it was Black Sabbath lullabies, so he could listen to Sabbath while he's crashed out.
I like the rule to lullaby. It just sounds cool. You guys ever read that book Lullaby by Chuck Palahniuk?
No.
Pretty good book. One of his best, I think. It's about a song that if you play it or sing it, anyone will drop dead who listens to it. So it's like responsible for all these cases of babies dying. What is that called? SIDS?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, is a SIDS or a spooky song? A spooky lullaby.
Interesting. I'm reading one of his books right now. I'm reading Haunted.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
I
was just talking to somebody the other day that doesn't really care for his writing, but I like it. I don't think it's too. I thought it was going to be like too choppy because someone had said that because I'd never read him before. I've seen interviews with him like on Joe Rogan and stuff, and I'm fascinated by his stories. Some of the stories that he's told. Him as a person, he's got this really cool like kind of suave demeanor, and he's a great storyteller. So, and I've had this book forever, and I finally
I love him. Yeah, I think he's great. Yeah. I have the copy of his latest book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. I would. I'm glad you like the collection. Definitely check out some of his novels. I would recommend Lullaby. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's funny. It's funny you say the thing about lullaby and the word. I've always thought that's an amazing word. Yeah. Rivaled only maybe by the phrase cellar door, which is of course a popular. Many writers have thought that's like the most beautiful string. I thought what is it, Edgar Allan Poe and others that thought cellar door, that phrase was just beautiful the way it rolled. But a lullaby, I've always felt that that's such a it's practically a perfect word.
Yeah, agree.
It is. It's great.
I love it.
Interesting.
I'm envious that it's already been used as a title because I would definitely use it.
What would happen then if you took one of the world's most hated words and you fused it and you named your band Moist Lullaby? Would you still be down with that?
I would do that. Yeah, that'd be a good poetry collection.
Dude, moist is terrible.
Universally hated. My least favorite word, at least when I was growing up, was scrotum. I just always hated that word.
Yeah.
I've always hated lumber. I've always just thought lumber just sounded dumb. I'm like, lumber, what's wrong with these people? Who came up with that crap? Kind of like mustard. I'm like, why? Who is the person who did that?
I can't think of any I hate, but I think my favorite of all time is linoleum.
That is a pretty word. Yeah, linoleum. Yeah.
Good song too.
The song or just the word?
Both.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I like the word Elysium.
Elysium.
And I just found out. I was watching this. I was telling Chad before the show. I was watching a documentary while I'm riding my bike. I'm trying to lose that weight, on my jihad on fat. And I was watching this documentary on the Illuminati, and apparently, and I would need to look into this more. But these authorities that were on the show, and they're working in libraries of all different kinds and scholars of different kinds talking about the Illuminati and stuff, saying that people are wrong when they say that the founding of our country was Illuminati, because apparently there was a pitch for them to have a colony and it would be named Elysium. And I thought, how cool would that be if we had a state, it's like, well, we've got Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and Elysium. I said, wow,
That's pretty cool.
It's a pretty cool name, man. For a state.
Knock 'em stiff Elysium.
Yeah, knock 'em stiff Elysium. Yeah, man.
I can't think of any states that have a cool name. Can you?
I've always liked California. I thought that was cool.
Only if it's spelled with a K, right? Yeah.
Yeah, California's a good one.
Massachusetts is the worst.
Yeah,
Horrible name.
that is terrible. I like Virginia. I like just the sound of it, Virginia.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of words with V, right?
Yeah.
Vengeance, victorious, right? Velcro.
Max, we have a city here in Michigan called Hell.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from Indiana, so I wasn't too distant from Michigan.
What part of Indiana?
A little town called Lake Station, up at the tip top of Indiana.
Yes, you're not far.
Yeah.
Would that be like near Angola or different?
I don't know what that is, man. Close to Hammond. Do you know Hammond? Right on the coast of Lake Michigan.
Kurt? Okay.
Yeah.
That's Hammond, not Hammond.
I was wondering if you'd catch that. I was like, if he doesn't catch it, I'm editing that bugger out.
I had no idea what that meant.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of STDs, you guys want to start talking about It Follows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, man.
Let's do this.
Every person's story has something to teach us. How others view life, how obstacles are overcome, how joy is felt, how fears are faced, how love is expressed. The Matters of Faith podcast explores individual stories of people's lives and how faith plays a part. It may not be your story, but it may help shape yours.
The Matters of Faith podcast with Jay Wilburn is on Project Entertainment Network.